Hello, French horn! We're working on Midnight Sky, so make sure you have your music for Midnight Sky, and make sure you have your French horn. So, we're going to talk about notes, rhythms, and we're talking about some musical things, and all that jazz. So let's get started. I keep burping, sorry. You have rest for the first 4 measures of this song, meaning you're going to count to 4. Sorry. Yeah, you're going to count to 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not that fast. It's actually a lot slower, but you know how to count to 4, I hope. Another way you can watch is for me to do a downbeat. So every time you see my hand go down like this, that signifies the start of a new measure. So if you have 4 measures of rest, you're going to see me do this 4 times before you play. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Last measure, and then you would play. That would be measure 5, okay? All right, so in measure 5, where you do come in, we come in with an F, nice strong concert B flat. Then we go C, back to F, back to C, back to F, and then we stay on F, G, and F again. So lots of F, which is good because that is our like tonal center. So we can definitely like have like a home base. So we can always come back to the same note. As long as we know what F sounds like and feels like on our lips, then we can always come back to that same place. So here's what F sounds like. So see if you can match that. Okay, so we have that locked in our ear. So let's play measure 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's a lot of F. Ready? Set. Here we go. My F to C the first time definitely was not solid. I didn't have C in my ear. So let's hear what that jump sounds like. Maybe practice that a couple of times. Let's do F to C just back and forth. Ready? Okay, I feel pretty good. Feel good? All right, good. Let's do 5, 6, 7, 8 again. Ready? And notice where we have breath marks. So if you don't need a breath, which you probably shouldn't after one measure, not necessarily a breath mark, but maybe just like a little pause in between the measures. So make sure you are taking that break in there. And if you don't see a breath mark, do not take a breath. Do not take a break there. Sustaining is the key to this song. In measure 7, we have a crescendo, which means to get a little bit louder. And in measure 8, we have a decrescendo, which we're going to get a little bit quieter again. And there also is a poco retardando. Poco meaning a little, and retardando meaning slowing. So we're going to slow down just a little bit. Okay, going on, measure 9. I have to turn the page, sorry. Don't mind me. All right, so measure 9, we start on D, first finger. Then we go to C, C, C. We go to B flat, again, back to the first finger. Measure 12, we go back to C. And measure 13, we have D and then C. So again, C, 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 3 of them in a row. B flat, 2 of them in a row. Back to C 3 more times. D and then C. That's measure 10, 11, 12, and 13. Let's try that. Ready? Okay. Here we go. All right. In measure 11 and 12, we have a crescendo. Something we never want to do is take a breath after a crescendo. So if you need to take a breath, sneaking it in some other place, kind of in between the measure. Sorry, not in between the measures, but in between the notes in the measure. For example, in measure 10, you have 3 C's in a row. So you can take a breath after that C half note. And that'll be really sneaky. No one will ever really notice it because other people are playing and kind of covering up that little break you would give us. So let's start at measure 9. And let's add that little sneaky breath and then not take another breath until maybe like measure 13 after that D. Maybe that would be a good place. Here we go, measure 9. Ready? And That's an F, that's not a D. Let's find D. Okay, so there's D. Ready? Go. Here we go. So I did both my sneaky breaths so you can kind of see where they are, where they come in. If you need to use both of those, then you can. If you don't need to use either of those, then you don't need to. If you can go all the way through, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. All right, I'm going to go at measure 14. D, E, F, 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 D, F, G. Again, lots of F. So that's really good for us with hearing the notes, because if we always have some place to land to come back to, it makes it a little bit easier. So let's find that D at measure 14. Let's find that note. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so here's 14. Ready? And. Okay, so I noticed that there's a lot of repetition with my first valve. So make sure at 14 and 15 we have all those F's in a row. Make sure it's the same pitch coming out every single time. Let's go again. 14, 15, 16. Ready? And. Now for me, one thing I found tricky was in 14 I go D, E, F. And then in 16 I go D, F, G, meaning I skip over E. So hearing that, it does sound different. It does sound different. Let's go back to 9. Let's go 9 up to 17. Starts on D. Ready? Set 9. Here we go. And I think we're too low, and that's my bad. Somehow we ended up a little bit too low. Let's do it again at 9. Ready? There's D. Ready? And. Breaths that we didn't really talk about, but as long as it's not after a crescendo and as long as it's not on a bar line, if you have other places that you need to sneak one in, as long as they're sneaky, you should be good. The rest of the band will cover up whatever gap you give us. All right, we're gonna take it back to the beginning. I am gonna make you count out 4 measures of rest because I want you to practice that, because sometimes the easiest things are the trickiest things. So here we are at the very beginning. I'll conduct for you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Get ready. Here's our 4th measure. 1, 2, ready, turn. After 10, ready? Ooh, and that was a really bad run for me. I hope you did better because I took breaths in the wrong places. Some of my notes did not come out very clearly. So, woo! if we could do that one more time for me, so you can have a better recording to practice with, that would be groovy. Here is measure 5, and I'm gonna, let's see, can I turn a page? I might do something funky with my hand to turn a page, but stay with it. Ready, set, 5, measure right on measure 5, not gonna go back, ready, go. It's not gonna happen. All right, we'll have to take a break, but when I need to turn the page, sorry. Ready, 5, go. Pause. Okay, 9, ready, go. We start at 13. Ready? 13. Ready? Go. Whew. All right. It's something. So definitely practice getting some of those notes locked in our ear, because I definitely was getting too low there. But that last one was the right pitches, so use that as your best recording. If you have any questions, ask me tomorrow. When I see you virtually, Sebastian, make sure you're logged into the classroom tomorrow. Okay? Please and thank you.